What if I told you that the big one is about to hit Southern California, that the San Andreas Fault is about to explode in insurmountable amounts of lava and volcanic rock? The volcanoes are about to erupt all over the United States, could cover 2/3 of what makes up this continental great land of America. And the mainstream media is never going to alert you that the USGS system earthquake alert is going to fail again, just like it did for two consecutive times in California over the last week or so. That these are just the birth pangs from God, telegraphing what's coming next to the American people, and most importantly, those people hanging out on the coastlines of California and places, the depths of Hollywood and SoCal. And that it is absolutely essential that you're prepared for this inevitability. You know, it's just amazing to me. I'm from California. I remember as a young child running during my first earthquake because I didn't know what to do. And my dad grabbed me by the shoulders like, "Christopher, what are you doing?" I remember watching our pool, I think this was the Northridge quake, when I was a teenager, swaying back and forth in the water and my dog howling. Did you know that thousands of bees showed up dead in Southern California just within the last 24 hours? That's a sign, because insects, they have this intuitive sense and knowledge just like other animals, like dogs do. They begin howling before the quake actually hits. That's what my dog Whitney did actually when I was a kid, before my pool began shaking left to right. You know, I had some friends visiting California just a couple of days ago. They were there during the earthquake in a very tall building, and it scared the jeebies out of them. Here's the question: is California prepared for this attack? Are they prepared for this natural disaster? Do you know seismologists and volcanologists, I think that's what they're called, have even predicted that California, literally, part of it could fall into the ocean at some point in the future? That our last major earthquake in 1906, this is when it wasn't as heavily populated and there probably wasn't as much infrastructure at the time, killed about 3,000 people. And that we're due. That these 100-year epic events, these 1,000-year epic events are about to happen once again. And that in the time scale of humanity, it's so short, our lifetime, just grains of sand really running through our fingers. Somehow we think we have forever to live. We think that these things aren't going to happen again. We don't think that hellfire will rain and hit the city of Babylon once again. But when we know, history proves otherwise. You know what I see, especially as a Christian? I see darkness and evil all spread out the California land. It doesn't mean that I wish bad things to happen to. I mean, after all, I'm a native. I'm from there. But I will tell you this: my family and my loved ones and all my friends mostly have all moved out of California because their politics suck. It's literally become a trash bin of homelessness, drug addiction, high taxation, and really just an environment that is about to just crumble into the sea. I was even talking about this with a family member just a couple of days prior to these first two earthquakes. Notice how no one in the mainstream media even predicted for an instant, outside here at Alternative Media Television on AM TV, Chad Booksam warning of the second impacted earthquake strike literally hours before it occurred. In fact, you can just go back and watch the video. It's still up and running. We warned about it here first. Kudos to Chad Booksam for being on his toes. And now what we're telling you is the real big one is coming. And these attacks, these earth shocks, this volcanic activity is based on logarithmic scale, which means every point or so that we go up, expect a 10 times increase of devastation and damage. You know, the globe, if you believe it's a globe, some of us believe it's a flat earth just spinning on this magma moving rock. In fact, I was just in the Hawaiian Islands recently here, and it's interesting to see all the black lava flow. Of course, there was an eruption not too long ago there. I mean, here we are as human beings just in this precarious environment of planet Earth, just expecting to live forever. Scientists, not until recently, didn't even know, for example, that the dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid in the Yucatan Peninsula. Who knows if we can even believe that? But here's what I do know. Our top scientists, the best of class at Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Stanford, say when this thing actually blows at Yellowstone, it will devastate and probably wipe out most of middle and really 2/3 of the continental United States. You know, we need to think about, especially as Arizona residents, people that are fleeing. Why would you want to be in California? I just had a friend, he just relocated to Dallas. I called him, I said, "Are you okay? The California quake just hit." He said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm in Texas now." Isn't it interesting how all the bright minds, the entrepreneurs, those people with money and talent and resources and all these kinds of things are just flooding the chaos that is the bedrock of California today? When my grandfather first came to California, it was amazing. It was beautiful. There was no one there. He saw endless beaches and sun and pretty girls. And he was more than excited, him and his brothers, to roll up their sleeves and earn an honest living and build a business from the ground. Now I look at it, and it looks like a hellish, dark pit of mud. There's something called the Brea tar pits, I think it is, we visited when I was a kid. And that's kind of what Los Angeles and these other surrounding areas have become. Just tar. And it's what's boiling up from the surface.